Baghdad in the early 1970s was a city full of life. Cafes were crowded, markets were busy, and families enjoyed long evenings together. The capital was seen as a safe place, with a strong sense of community. But in the middle of that peace, a new chapter began, one that would change the city forever. His real name was Hussein Abdul Sattar, but no one remembers him by that name. People gave him a title, a nickname, that spread like wildfire: Abu Tabar. The word tabar means a small axe. It was a simple tool, but in his hands, it became a symbol of fear. At first, the events were small: strange break-ins, missing belongings, and strange noises in the night. Neighbors whispered about an unknown figure moving through the darkness. But soon, the stories became darker. Families woke up to find their houses turned upside down, valuable items gone, and the terrifying sense that someone had been watching them while they slept. The newspapers began to report on these strange incidents. People started connecting the dots, realizing that the same shadowy figure seemed to be behind them. And then, a wave of fear spread across the city. Abu Tabar became a name whispered in every home. Who was he? Why was he doing this? And how could one man keep escaping? Bags of rumors began to spread. Some said he was more than human. Some claimed he had supernatural powers. For many, it didn't matter what the truth was. Fear itself had already taken over. Baghdad, the city that once stayed awake late into the night, became silent after dark. Shops closed earlier, cafes emptied quickly, and streets were deserted before midnight. Families locked their doors with extra chains, nailed their windows shut, and children struggled to sleep. The police launched one of the largest manhunts of the decade. Checkpoints were everywhere. Night patrols roamed the streets, and entire districts were searched. But Abu Tabar slipped away again and again, like a ghost in the night. Every failed attempt only made his legend stronger. The truth, however, was more ordinary. Hussein Abdul Sattar was not a phantom, not a supernatural being. He was a man with a long history of criminal behavior. What made him different was not only his actions, but the way he managed to create fear on a massive scale. His presence was enough to turn one of the liveliest capitals in the region into a city of silence. In 1974, after months of tension, the authorities finally captured him. The arrest was not just news, it was a national event. Baghdad breathed again. People who had lived in fear for years felt a sudden relief. The mysterious figure that haunted their nights was finally behind bars. During the investigation, he spoke calmly about his actions, as if he were describing everyday events. This cold attitude shocked many, because it showed how detached he was from the terror he caused. The trial became a public spectacle. Crowds followed every detail in the newspapers. For the people of Iraq, this was not just about one man. It was about reclaiming their city. When the final verdict came, it marked the end of an era of fear. In 1976, the chapter of Abu Tabar was closed. Yet even after his story ended, his name continued to echo. Abu Tabar became a legend told from one generation to the next, not as a hero, but as a reminder of how one individual can cast a shadow over an entire city. His story is still told today, not because of what he stole, but because of the fear he left behind. Ask anyone who lived through those years, and you will see the look in their eyes. They may not remember every detail, but they remember the feeling, the unease, the silence, the way Baghdad changed. That is his real legacy. Not the incidents themselves, but the fear that lived in the hearts of millions. It shows us a truth that is timeless. A single person can shape the memory of a whole city. Even decades later, the story of Abu Tabar is told as if it happened yesterday. And maybe that is the most haunting part, not the man himself, but the fear he left behind.